My name is Michael H. Ashby. I prefer to be called Mike, and I've been a Master Mason for 55 years. I'm a dual member of Wheaton Lodge, 269. I'm the past master of Wheaton. I obviously have lived up there for over 50 years, so we haven't had an opportunity to participate here in Charleston number 35. But this is my home lodge, and I'm a life member here. Okay, I was installed in 2020, and I served as master until June of 2021. So my past master's apron says 2021. So that's the year that I claim, I guess. Well, you'd have to go back in history. My grandfather was a Mason. He was also a member of the Bloomington Consistory, the Scottish Rite, and he belonged to the Shrine. And I remember as a little kid him taking me to the Shrine Circus. And I always admired my grandfather, and he talked my father into becoming a Mason. And back in those days, they had territories that he had to, even though they lived in the same place, he had to be a member in Arcola. Dad became a Mason, and then he joined the Scottish Rite in Bloomington, just as his father-in-law had. It's just something that just kind of stuck with me. I'm also a member of the Scottish Rite in Bloomington, and the Ansar Shrine in Springfield. Well, it's kind of interesting because there's certain things I remember and certain things I don't. All I know is that back in the day, you had to be 21 years old to petition the lodge. When I became 21 years of age, my dad presented me with a petition, and it was already signed by people who had known me as I had grown up in the community. I don't really ever recall having an investigation committee come, because the men that had signed it were pretty reputable people, and I guess they thought that was good enough. Well, that's interesting as well. I was initiated in 1969 in August, and then I went for my senior year at the Western Illinois University. And in the meantime, I got married in November of that year. So I got behind in my work in terms of learning the catechism and getting started actually learning. My wife and I lived in married housing in Macomb at the university there, and we got a call from the secretary of the Macomb Lodge. Brother Robinson was his name, and he said, I got a call from the secretary of Charleston Lodge number 35, says you are behind in your work and you need to get on the ball and get stuff started. And I go, well, okay. And so he invited me over to his house, and he and another friend of his who was a member of the Macomb Lodge, they taught me the catechism mouth to ear. We had nothing in writing, and so everything was mouth to ear. And then I came back to Charleston after they were satisfied that I could pass the examination. And Brother Bob Finch, who was I believe he might have been the treasurer here in this lodge at the time, the master had him interrogate me. And I passed the test with flying colors. And let's see, that was about the 12th of March. I went back to Macomb, and Brother Robinson coached me again and taught me the second degree. On the 28th of March, I marched into this room. Actually, when I came in the front door, I was kind of nervous because I wasn't really sure. My dad had brought me in that night, and I walked in the door, and who would greet me at the door but Brother Robinson from Macomb? He and his wife had traveled 189 miles to be here to watch me be raised as a Master Mason after I passed my exam, because we didn't, unlike I know we in Wheaton many times we'll have the examination and then schedule a time to do the third degree. That wasn't the way it was here. You did your examination and you went right on into the third degree. So, but Brother Robinson came, and I was really thrilled because the master had him examine me. So instead of being nervous, I was at ease, and we went through it with flying colors, and then I was raised that night. Well, I enjoy the people I've known and met. I also have enjoyed being a part of raising my youngest brother, in Wheaton Lodge, and my son in Wheaton Lodge. And what I've really enjoyed, especially late in life, is to participate in the degree work more. I didn't really have an opportunity to attend Wheaton or come home to attend Charleston Lodge because my occupation required that I had a lot of night meetings, and you never knew when something was going to happen. I couldn't attend regularly, but when my brother decided he wanted to be a Mason, I spent a little more time with him, learning the catechism, helping him with that, and I took part in raising him. I was the senior deacon, I guess, that night. And then when my son came through, after we got him a petition and got him interested, I was the senior deacon for him as well. And then my youngest brother's stepson, Chad, and I, my son, we went up to Cary to watch him be raised before he went into the Marine Corps. But I did the circumambulation and did the senior deacon's part for him as well. So that's kind of been something that I've learned to do, and I've been called upon to do it many times over at Wheaton. Something I've enjoyed the most is being able to participate in all the degrees at one level or another, but in particular the third degree. Well, one of the things I have to always remember was the year that I was the master was the year of the COVID pandemic. And after I had been installed, we had like one meeting in person. So we had one meeting in September in person, then we met by Zoom. And that was the same year that the Grand Lodge met by Zoom. And that was very unique to be able to do it that way. It was disappointing to a certain degree, but we had to do things the way we had to do them. Things loosened up a little bit, and even though we wore masks many times, we were able to have meetings in person. And so through the end of my term, we were able to meet in person again. And that to me it was kind of a test to be able to keep everybody interested, because a lot of people didn't necessarily like the idea of being on Zoom, but they knew that if we did it that way, at least we can continue to do it. And we also started about 3 new petitioners during that particular time frame. So we didn't get them examined, we didn't get them raised during my tenure, but we did very shortly thereafter, and when we got to the point where we could meet all the time.